The Epstein drama is just continuing. As much as Donald Trump has tried to change the narrative on this, he just cannot. He tried accusing Rosie O'Donnell of being treasonous and losing her citizenship. He's tried tweeting about Coca-Cola. He tried even attacking Adam Schiff. None of it is working. None of it is working. Elon Musk has come out and made this even worse. We have now unearthed footage of one of Trump's alleged victims talking about what she experienced. It's horrific. And we also have Donald Trump trying to change the narrative again by firing the person who prosecuted Epstein. How does that make sense?
3 sources confirming to NBC News that Maureen Comey, a prominent SDNY prosecutor and daughter of former FBI Director James Comey, was fired today. She played a big role in prosecuting Epstein, as well as Ghislaine Maxwell, and in the Diddy trial. We cannot confirm a link between Trump and the firing at this time, but Trump has been going after Democrats, including James Comey, the FBI reportedly opening a probe into him last week. As for her role in the Maxwell case as it pertains to the Epstein files, Politico reporting, quote, a judge upheld the FBI's denial of access to the bulk of the Epstein records. The judge's ruling rested largely on a formal declaration from a federal prosecutor deeply involved in the Epstein and Maxwell prosecutions. Assistant U.S. Attorney Maureen Comey, the daughter of former FBI Director James Comey, she argued that disclosure of the investigative records was likely to interfere with the appeal in Maxwell's case. The exact reason for termination remains unclear, but sources say she was terminated pursuant to Article 2 of the Constitution.
In what world does it make this better that the Trump administration and probably Donald Trump is firing the person who locked up Epstein, locked up Ghislaine Maxwell, and was able to prosecute Diddy, all sex criminals? And this is how he thinks he's gonna make it better? By taking the person who actually sought justice and won and firing her? It makes absolutely no sense. And that is why Polymarket says that there is a 99% chance that Donald Trump is named in the Epstein files. Gavin Newsom is having a great time with this. He posted this. This is from his personal account. I hope that doesn't get me copyright stricken, but it's worth posting. And Elon Musk, as I said, has tweeted now, the old way they did it was admit nothing, deny everything, make counterclaims, but it's not gonna work this time. It doesn't seem to be working this time. I mean, who can forget this when the Trump administration gave binders of the Epstein files to these MAGA influencers, binders that the Trump administration and Trump now say are actually a Democratic hoax created by Obama, Biden, and Clinton to attack Trump, yet they gave the hoax to the MAGA influencers. Someone make that make sense for me. It doesn't make sense, and that's why accounts like this account that I'm not going to read out loud says that this is one of the most R-worded moments ever on camera. Donald Trump is not going to make it out of this, I don't think. And as this is all happening, as Donald Trump is denying anything wrong happened, we're now learning that unearthed footage of one of Trump's alleged victims has come out. And here that is.
He gets really angry and threatens to call immigration on Maria if she doesn't come over and make things right and give him a blowjob. So while she is over there giving him a blowjob, I am just trying to, I'm supposed to look scared, like, oh no, and cleaning up things and pretending like I'm trying to go back to my job as a maid. And then he's being so rude to Maria. I felt so bad for her. Even though I guess it just didn't seem like a fantasy. It didn't seem like it's the weirdest fantasy as far as that. He was threatening to call immigration on her, so that she didn't know how to, she wasn't even near going down to give him, perform oral sex on him before he slapped her away and said, what are you doing? You need to put a condom on, and she's trying to, I'm so sorry, and he's like, you can't even understand what you're saying, speak English, he called her derogatory comments, And then he's like, you know what? You don't know what you're doing. Have her come over and show you how it's done. And so I said that I didn't, I had to go over there or else he was going to call immigration on Maria. I didn't know if it was true or not, but I felt that, he said that if I didn't show her how to perform oral sex on him, then he was going to call immigration on her and then get rid of us both. It was anything that was in relation to him getting off or being satisfied or happy had to do with him being in power, but extreme power. And it's very hard to even, it was always intimidating when he was like that. It was always, you didn't really know if it was true or, like if you refused to play along, would he really call immigration on Maria? Would he really get rid of us both? And I didn't even want to know what that meant. I always didn't, it wasn't a game. It just felt like it wasn't a game.
So that's really horrific stuff, and I am so sorry that woman experienced that. But the real truth of the matter is a lot of women were victims of that same type of behavior. And allegedly, Donald Trump is wrapped up in it. Regardless, these people who have been victims of these awful crimes deserve to know what happened. And I think that's something that we can all agree on. The people who committed these crimes should have to pay for it. Now, Alex Jones is actually out. He's losing his mind over this. Look at what he's saying.
All of Democrat hoax and anybody following it is only helping them. And a repeat of all that. And I'm just like, 180, 180, 180, 180, flip-flop, 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 flip-flop. And I'm just like, and then he puts out on Truth Social, I don't want your support. Anybody that even talks about this again, you are bad. You know the elephant in the room here. Trump is not stupid. Telling people to not talk about something is going to only make them look into it more. So I sure hope this is some 50D chess. Because I'm pretty good at Hegelian dialectics, second, third, fourth, fifth order connections. In fact, I'm one of the best. This is the most self-destructive temper tantrum stuff and is the equivalent of going off the coast of San Diego and just for a day throwing rotten chicken blood into the ocean. Great white sharks will show up, probably in a few hours. And then when the great white sharks get there, I'm like, okay, Trump, you've been chumming the waters now for a week and a half. You need to stop. I don't know why you're doing it. And now Trump has jumped up on the edge of the boat on a plank and is now cutting himself. He's stripped down to his underwear and he's cutting himself with razor blades, walking out to jump into the water with great white sharks. And I'm just like, please stop. He's like, shut up. I don't want your help. You're with the enemy. I'm going to walk the plank. And I'm just like, okay, enjoy.
What the fuck? What the fuck? I mean, I know it's my job to have something to say, but they're losing their minds. And I don't know what to say about that. That was one of the most insane 2 minutes of video I have ever seen. They just don't know how to handle this. By the way, that kept going. I saved you. I spared you. But we're going to keep following this because this is not dying. In fact, it feels like it's ramping up. And the smart people in MAGA are latching on. And I think this is the one time where Donald Trump and his base have been separated. They disagree. Smart politicians are going to support the base, especially politicians who want to get at Trump. They're going to support the base because without Trump's base, if Trump doesn't have his base, he's nothing. That's the only reason why he's been able to survive everything. It's because he has a hardcore group of people who support him. If he loses that, he's over. And the smart politicians are going to keep inflaming this thing as a way to make it so that Donald Trump becomes weaker and weaker. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please hit like. If you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.